Tiara here with Gypsyfae Creations. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today's soap is one of two that will be a glow-in-the-dark soap for this collection, and it's going to be based around fireflies or lightning bugs. I guess it depends on where you're from. I typically in the moment call them lightning bugs, but when I think about it, fireflies seem so much cooler to say. So I've just added my lye solution in there. And these are my oils. I've left them at room temperature. I've got my coconut milk powder in there. I've got my kaolin clay, some sodium lactate, and some tussa soak. And I'm going to mix this together till I get a very light trace. Pour off a layer. I have two layers because we're making two different soaps, but a layer in this is going to represent grass. When I think about summer, one of the biggest things I look forward to is fireflies. I love catching fireflies, and I love just looking outside the window and seeing all of the trees and the sky light up. I might need this. And actually, let me color it first. I am just getting ahead of myself here. I just love seeing like everything light up from the grass and the fields and the trees when it is firefly season. And so that's what this is going to represent. So we're going to do a grass layer. I'm trying to do like night sky, summer night lit up by fireflies. So we'll do a sculpted layer. This is a Enchanted Forest mica by Mad Micas. Give that a mix. Let's add the fragrance. It is called Essence of Nightshade. It is by Crafter's Choice, and the scent description says relaxing combo of sandalwood, tonka bean, lavender, and vanilla. It has 4.9% vanillin. There is a story about how this fragrance got chose for this soap that I will go into later. It is one of the Game of Thrones inspired fragrances that they released, so I've had a couple run-ins that didn't end up so well with these Game of Thrones fragrances, but I have high hopes for this one because it says it behaves well and it got pretty good reviews. Since there is 4.9% vanillin in it, it does discolor, so keep that in mind when I tell you my story later. So mixing that in by hand looks okay. It's not causing any chaos. So let me just get my molds over here and we'll start pouring in our layer of grass. For the rest of the soap, I want it to look like the sky, and so I'm going to color the rest of this batter in this Magic Blue Mica by Micas and More. I have also lots of yellow soapy shreds, and this can either be stars or the main point of this is to look like fireflies, but use your own judgment. And then I have some glow-in-the-dark column molds in the shape of crescent moons that I'm going to stick in there as well. And let me tell you guys, it was very difficult trying to find glow-in-the-dark mica. I didn't think it was going to be that tough, but when I had this idea, I knew I needed glow-in-the-dark mica. So that is what this crescent moon column mold is colored in. I had to go on a big search for it. Nurture was out. There was a couple other companies that were out. So I found Micas and More, and I figured while I was getting glow-in-the-dark mica, I would try a couple others. So I did like a sunflower yellow, which you'll see in this soap at the end, the glow-in-the-dark mica, and that magic blue. So let's give this a mix, add the fragrances, add the shreds, start pouring, and then we'll stick those little moon embeds in there. The top of this, I'm just going to drizzle some of that sunflower yellow from Micah's and More that I've dispersed in some olive oil here. I'll run a chopstick through it and make some swirls. And then I have some star sprinkles and some yellow, neon yellow glitter to go on top. So let me get my chopstick. Playing this a little bit. There's some chunks in there, so when I go to swirl it, it isn't the prettiest. But it'll be fine. Straighten up my edges here. Do this side. So I mentioned earlier that this is one of 2 soaps that will glow in the dark for this release. And the other soap is going to be called Sweet Dreams. You haven't seen that one yet, but it's probably going to come out right after this one. The fragrance I used in this soap, I had originally picked out to put in that soap. Actually, before I finish putting on these sugar sprinkles, give this a little spray with rubbing alcohol. Otherwise, it makes that color bleed on the stars. So now, sprayed it with the rubbing alcohol, getting the stars on here. When I design a soap, I usually have to have a fragrance. To me, that would make practical sense. I'm a very practical person. And this fragrance, I smell a lot of the vanilla, I get the lavender and the sandalwood, and it's a very calming, sleepy time sort of soap. And so the Sweet Dreams soap was going to be scented with that. And this one, I had planned a blend of fragrances that I did myself. And then I realized that this fragrance discolors like tan. So hopefully that blue darkens up, because that is what I want. But I did not want the design I had in mind for the Sweet Dreams, which is going to be pastels, to be ruined by discoloration. So I had to switch up the scents. That's just me. Like I said, I'm a very practical person. Alright, let me just randomly place these stars all over the top of this, give it a little bit of that neon yellow glitter. I'll let it sit for 24 hours and I'll bring you guys back when I go to cut it. Time to see what the inside looks like, and I'm going to be very, very careful when cutting this, or not. That didn't cause any problems whatsoever, but this cutter is not meant to cut melt and pour, and those glow-in-the-dark moons in there are definitely made out of melt and pour, but it didn't give me any problems. So that is what it looks like on the inside, but that is not where the fun stops. There's more to come, because my favorite part of the soap is going to be what I put on the outside of the bar, which I have a bag of these little fireflies that I will glue on the front like so, and of course these glow in dark as well. That would make sense, and that would be the Firefly Nights soap. So the original idea for the soap came about from this mold, my sister does resin jewelry, and she sent me a picture of a bunch of silicone molds that she couldn't use for her jewelry she makes. And it looks like this. I think it came from Walmart. It still had the tag on it. So she asked me if I wanted any of them, and I was like, absolutely, I'll take. There was like a bug one and a heart one. I didn't realize how big this mold was. So when I got it, I was like, that's not gonna work for what I wanted to use it for. And then my friend Erica likes to give me ideas, and she didn't know I had this mold, but she's like, why don't you do a glow-in-the-dark Firefly soap? And I was like, it's funny you say that, because I just got this bug mold, and now I'm really excited because I'm picturing, you know, how I want it to look in my head, which originally it didn't have the Firefly on the front of it. Of course now it does, because I don't think that embed would look the greatest on top. It's just really big. So I think it'll look really cool on the front. So stay tuned to the end of this video, because that will be tacked on and you guys can see me apply those melt and pour glow-in-the-dark lightning bugs with some melt and pour. That is what I use to put embeds on the front of my soaps. If you guys want to purchase one of these, they will be available on July 24th. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone's support. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw, of course. Only if you did. Any questions or comments, you can leave them for me in the comments section down below. And until next time, I hope you have a very nice day. I will smell you later.